Greetings, land of Bitcoin. I hope your travels through the cryptoverse are going well today. Trying out a new mount for my live stream here. Got it on a tripod. Maybe this will be a little better. So Bitcoin crashed. I'm sure if you're watching Bitcoin, you know that. You don't need to be told that. So just in the last 4 hours or so, it has dumped about 4,000, about $3,300, and now it's recovered about 1,000 of that, sitting at 61,246 right now. What's up? I appreciate you chatting. Appreciate you showing up. How y'all doing? So let's get to it. Okay, I haven't made a video for a few days. There was this little symmetrical triangle I had in here, but I really didn't like it a whole lot. I'm glad I didn't really make videos about this because it was boring. And Bitcoin basically just kind of went sideways and ignored it. So let's get rid of that. I don't like that one. If you've been following my videos, I've been since the start of second week of October. Had this ascending channel, descending channel, right in through here. There is a this white one is a symmetrical triangle, and then that resistance line there on the top is also the top line of this pink falling wedge. And I've referred to this as kind of like a kaleidoscope. You slowly turn the end of a kaleidoscope, right? And all the little shapes and colors change. That's kind of what this is like, right? It kind of slowly morphs from one pattern into the next. So my chart here is really good at telling you when the next dump or the next pump will start. It's not exact, but it's ballpark, and for the way I'm trading this, that's all I need. I don't need to be exact. I'm just kind of got a slow rolling trade going here. I've added to it a little bit, as you see down here. It's at about almost 1,500 now, and let's see. And then entry price is about 54,000 now. Now this isn't my profit. I've noticed this. I've been talking to the site to figure out how they're calculating my realized profit, and they actually don't know. So I'm kind of doing something a little unorthodox here, but I'm gonna talk to them about that further. My entry price says 53,875, but I would actually be in profit like way up here at around 59,000, because I've been adding. They're paying me to have this order open, so I've been reinvesting all this money. So these two numbers here are skewed. So it's kind of strange, but my entry price is 53,875, but I'm actually in profit for what I'm in for at about 59,000 or so. I'll be in profit. So it's kind of interesting. I'll talk about that more further. I just want to show you what's going to happen next. This chart here I have is very good at telling the monthly dump and pumps. The red lines, Bitcoin dumps down to, and then the yellow lines is where the monthly pump starts. And see how close the yellow lines are to the red lines every single month. This green line here is a red line. It's the last Friday of the month. This one actually pumped to it. That's why that one's green. But the vertical red lines and the one vertical green line are the last Friday every month. And Bitcoin dumps down to that area every single month and then pumps away from it. This green one here is actually the same structure. It just was influenced a little earlier. But I want to go just a quick review what this chart is. For those of you that watch my channel, I don't want to bore you over and over saying the same thing. But this light blue line here, this vertical line, is the last Friday. It's November 26th, the last Friday of the month. The one over here to the right is December 31st. The last Friday of December, last Friday of December of the month, is actually New Year's Eve. It's kind of interesting. So I've been saying this is probably going to turn red, right? This is likely going to be turning red right here. Let's see if I got the color in there. Let's see. I kind of have to look around my camera mount here. So Boom, right? It'll probably be red, and what that means, I don't want to turn it red yet though, but what's happening here is Bitcoin when it gets to this time. So I don't know the price, right? This chart's not great for predicting where the price will be, but it's great for predicting when the next pump starts. So I drew in these the blue vertical lines, not the light ones, but the dark blue ones to the left here, are where the dumps start every month. And I just started adding this to my chart last month and put this November 9th. I made this video and I put it there, and it turned out to be right on the dot. In the subsequent videos, I put the blue line over here on November 10th, but I've since put it back to November 9th where I first put it because that's where it first started showing weakness and started dumping. So what's going to happen here? This kind of reminds me of the month of September, where it did something like this. It dumped, and then it kind of dumped, and it kind of recovered, or it dumped and it kind of recovered, and then dumped. So this could still kind of recover, right, and come up here like I need to turn my magnet off. That's annoying stuff. This could still come up and recover a little bit, right? Maybe this comes up and recovers. Maybe it does one of these, right, and then finishes dumping, or maybe this just goes sideways for the rest of the month. So it doesn't have to keep dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping, right? The only thing I can say for sure, most likely, well, not for sure, but likely, is this blue line here will most likely be red because we've already dumped down to it, right? So it would be very unusual for Bitcoin to pump up to this date. That would be very, very unusual. It's only done that once, and that was because of social media, like Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey and some other people kind of forced that to happen. So what's happening here is the futures market. There's big bets being put on the futures market, and then people come over here and manipulate the price down to cause pain on the futures markets. It may not be all of that, but this chart is saying there's something seriously wrong, right? With every month it's dumping down. So whether it just goes sideways to this line, or maybe it dumps more to this line, or maybe it recovers and then dumps back down to the line, right? This is the monthly dump, and then we'll put in a yellow line. We're going to be looking for the yellow line. Where's the pump start? It's usually in this ballpark. Let's get a date on this. Refresh this. I'll give you some dates to look at here. Okay, the yellow line right here would be like the November 29th. Now this yellow line could come in a day or two before the last Friday. So I'm thinking November 24th, November 25th, November 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Somewhere in this ballpark is where the next pump will start. See, if you look to the left here, see the yellow lines, the red lines, and the one green line, the last Friday every month. And then look at the yellow lines, how close the yellow lines. Yellow lines is where the pump starts. Look how close that is every single month, over and over and over. So I'm not saying this is a guarantee, but this is extremely likely that wherever this price bottoms out, wherever this is at, right? I do not think that it'll pump back up here, right? I do not think it'll pump back up to this. It might pump up a little bit and then dump back down to it. It might kind of go sideways. It could rise up a little bit into it, right? But here's where the dump started. So likely it's going to be, under 65,000 tops for this, coming into this closure at a max. I think. I'm thinking the price will probably be in the low 60,000s. That's just a guess, but it would be extremely unlikely for, like I've said a couple of times now, for Bitcoin to just start pumping right back up to this date, right? It's always, if you just look back at the history, see last month, It dumps right down to it. Usually the bottom of the dump is within a few days of this light blue line here, which will most likely be a red line. It usually will bottom out. Let's just say it bottoms out here, and then this yellow line is where the pump starts, right? Wherever the bottom shows itself to be. What if it dumps way down here, right? What if it dumps way down to 55,000 right now, or the next 2 weeks, right? And it bottoms out here. Well, the next pump's going to start probably here like this, right? Now this yellow line could be over here to the left a little, right? It could be over to the left. It's only when it happens before. It's usually only a day or two before, and it's usually never more than like 4 or 5. Never more than like 5 days. Let's see. September was 24. September I think was the longest over here. The 6 days. So 6 days from November 26th would be like December 2nd, right? That'd be probably the latest where it would start. But anyways, that's what this chart is good at, and I sure hope there's lots of people out there getting some good use out of this. This is what I'm watching for, right? I don't know what the price will be on the last in this ballpark. It's not exact science. It rarely bottoms out right on the last Friday of the month, which will be November 26th. It's usually a day or two before or a couple of days after. It's right in this ballpark. And wherever it bottoms, then boom, the yellow line gets put in, right? And then we're looking for the December pumpeds. And likely it's going to do the same thing. I just don't know how high or how low, right? And then this will be like a red line here. And then we'll be looking for our old friend, the yellow line here, right? Start of January sometimes, something like that, right? This is how this is working. And then, of course, this would be, if you're new to my chart, this would be the dark blue line here, right? Boom. See how it's working? Why is that so dark? Lighten that up to, what happened there? Oh, there we go. Get that over there. Come on, man. Oh, the joy of live streams. Okay. Right, that would be the blue line there, right? Like the blue line here was November 9th. And this is just speculation, but like this would be December 18th would be the blue line, right? It dumps down to the red line, which is December 31st, and then the yellow line is January 2nd, right? Just for example. It's just the same structure over and over. For those of you new, let me zoom out and end the video. That's what I'm looking at, right? If this chart is just wonderful for this exact thing. Maybe in the future I can try to start getting some other kind of analysis in here where I can maybe focus in, on where the price will be, right? That would make this chart almost perfect. But anyways, you can see yellow line pump away in January 2021. Dump down red line, yellow line pump away, dump to the red, yellow pump away, dump to it, pump away, dump pump, 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 dump pump. And this one here, this green one here, is actually the exact same structure. This was just the B word conference where it was intentionally started about a week early, even a few days later, and this would still be a red line here. But you can see it's dumping down to it. I just started it a little early. I could probably just change that green line to a red line and make this chart look even better, right? It's just a few days too far away, but it's the same structure, right? See how it's working? This was the smallest dump, 9% here. There's actually a 9% dump there, and then pump away from it, and it's just it's just the same thing over and over and over, right? So December and January are the real bullish months for Bitcoin in the last halving cycles, where the blow off tops happen. So there's likely going to be big bets being placed in futures markets, and if that's the case, if that turns out to be true, then the composite man will come over to this spot market of Bitcoin where the price is determined and intentionally manipulate the price down as far as possible to cause pain over on the futures markets, right? Where they're probably making gazillions of dollars. Now there might be other factors at work in here too, but the futures market is just a good explanation for this behavior, right? Obviously. But as I'm gonna wrap it up, I sure hope you enjoyed this video, and my trade's going well. Trade's going well. Last 2 months, I've basically called the tops of these last two local tops, basically on the dot, perfect as far as time wise, and I just haven't had enough money to take advantage of it, so I'm kind of scrambling to raise some fundage. But if you enjoy this, you can tip me down in the description after this video's live stream's ended. You can go down there and tip me in my PayPal tip jar if you want, right down there, right down there. Say tip, tip, tip. I don't mind working for tips if you find it valuable, if you truly find it valuable. But all right, let's get going. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Later.